The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all? Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Primetime Homebuyers. You're here with Lady Lashley on our continuous series down in the Atlanta Fulton County Library, located at the Adams Street Library. We know we gotta let y'all know where we at every Wednesday. This is Atlanta Strong Economic Development Seminar, where we've been holding live seminars here every Wednesday at 2 p.m. to help get our community geared towards economic development with strategic ideas that you can implement. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about a good topic. We're going to be talking about a good topic. We're going to be focusing on entrepreneurship. Okay. So today's series, we're going to be focusing on fostering economic growth, the importance of promoting entrepreneurs and small business development. As I always state, the most important thing to a community is a small business. That is the foundations of America. If you go back in time, the foundations of America was based on small businesses, entrepreneurship, where the small guy helped you, the government, to help us shape policies, get a financial how can I say, financial stability in the global market. But now what you're seeing is a lot of big businesses taking over industries, and there's not a lot of the small guy. So what we want to promote is that small business, what they call small business, is the business. Not only does it diversify our market, but it also allows help the middle class to not be dissolved. Okay. Also, it helps us control the economy by setting the price value of certain items that we buy readily. But if we're not in the market and we're not the ones that's selling it, we don't control the price. Okay. This is why it's important for us to be supporting small businesses, especially in a time like this. Right. So some of the things we're going to be talking about today, just to give you a heads up, the benefit of entrepreneurship, small business development. These are the main topics: support entrepreneurship and small development, um, government policies that can help us as business owners, other support organizations that can help you develop as business owners. So one of the things that you know by being a business owner, it creates jobs. Job creation is what we want to do. In the market today, they keep saying, "Oh, there's no jobs, there's no jobs," and we have a lot of people flooding in the market, and they're not hiring. The hire criteria is pretty weird out there. So if you have a business, you'll be one of the people who drive the actual hiring criteria to get some of our youth back into the market. As you can see, if you have a young person in your house, you know it's pretty sometimes it's hard for them to get jobs, get employment. And we are the business owners and we know what our kids are capable of, we can hire them ourselves. So small business are the largest source of job creation in most economies. But I don't think so today. That's what we're trying to drive. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration, small business have generated 66%. Now, I believe that this was a statistic that was in 2020, but I do believe after the last couple of years, we know that private industries have taken over a lot of small businesses and the housing market. But this was quote from 2020. So it has generated 66% of all new jobs since the 1970s by fostering an environment that supports entrepreneurship, small business development. Governments can help create new opportunities for employment and reduce unemployment. unemployment rate. So that is one of the key factors why it's important for you to get your idea out there and then expand. Let's go back to what we talked about in our economic development series for the general public. You having a plan, you're coming up with a business plan, marketing strategy, building the connections you need for your industry. Start having social events around your industry. Give back. Once you give back and you make yourself known in your area, then we're going to start to increase the community connection as well as the visibility of the resources that we have. So it's more when you are actually a small business owner. Don't be afraid to start your own business, even if you're selling one item or you're focusing on one thing or you're teaching one thing. You are important. We have to diversify the market. Innovation. Now, if we don't have a diverse type of people coming into the market, we don't have innovation. That's why you have to. So it was the one of the other foundations of America was migration, and I'm going to say that because of the diversity they needed to build up the economy. You had different people who specialize in special different industries coming from different places in the world, also bringing in different resources to America. So this is what you have to keep in mind. Why did they do that? You're gonna have to think like the big guy, being innovative. So you yourself creating a job market for someone, and then letting them bring their skills in for whatever it is to enhance whatever product that you're selling, increasing the innovativeness. Entrepreneurs and small business owners are often at the forefront of innovation. And that's why we always say protect your idea, okay, guys? Protect your idea. Don't let the big guys come and snatch it up. Developing new products, services, technologies that drive economy growth and improve our quality of life. Encouraging entrepreneurs can lead to creation of entire new industry. Yes, as well as improvements of existing ones, i.e., I'm a tax lien, a tax deed investor, and I specialize in alternative real estate investment. So just by me being into that alternative real estate, I was able to create a course that you guys are going to learn about a little bit later. And that opened up a whole new industry because that industry was pretty well kept quiet under the rug. Okay, a couple of years ago. But you have to be innovative. There's something that you can create, you can bring to the market that people will love. Okay. Competition. That's what we have to create competition. And competition doesn't always have to be negative. Friendly competition is what it is. We gave you a great example last week of friendly competition in the market of it was machinery. It was Lashley's Kumbota, no relation. And the gentleman talked to me about him and his colleagues in the same industry that will get together at least quarterly to talk about what's going on in the industry, how much they're selling the product for, what are the new innovations, and they were all on different levels, different areas in the United States, but they came together and it was a friendly competition. So competition is good. It actually allows you to evaluate yourself, gives you a measurement of what's going on. And if you have that great good competition around, they're going to work they're going to work together, they're going to work together. Just like in a marathon, when you're running and the person's tired, and you get the other runner and just be like, come on, let's go. Because it becomes a group effort, it becomes a family affair to get to the end goal, and that is to win. Okay? A strong small business sector promotes competition, which can lead to better products. As we say, they looking at what one person doing, one doing, so they constantly trying to be innovative while they're meeting every quarter, keeping them on their feet and they're building relationships within their industry. Help lower prices, improve customer services again, help lower prices. How is that? Because now you are the leaders of this industry, or you're able to help regulate the pricing. Maybe it's a big guy out there that's trying to cut y'all out the throat. Now you guys have to come up with an innovative way. Or maybe the market is selling it too much and you want to find a way to sell it cheaper and you guys get together. That's the importance of competition and friendly competition in business. I have to stress that because people look at competition like, no, take them down. We're going to take them down. No, that's not how business competition is supposed to work. Go back and look at Black Wall Street. Learn what they did. They did not compete with each other. They just built with each other. Same type of businesses, maybe a different logo, something a little innovative there, but they knew the need needed to be fulfilled. So they based their business on the need and not just being in competition. Know the need of your market and stay focused on the need. Does that make sense? So now, all right, so the improved customer service again. I do apologize, guys. I apologize again if you didn't miss anything. We said it lowers the prices if you didn't hear that, and improve customer service because now you're striving to do better. Is it muted? Okay. You're striving to do better. You're trying to be, best. You're trying to come to the next meeting, which is like colleagues, like, hey, this is what we got going on. Friendly competition. We do this all the time in the hospital, where each unit sometimes strive to get the best number, the best customer service number. We're not in competition with each other, but it's a friendly competition. Does that make sense? Okay, so by supporting the growth and development of small businesses, governments can help ensure that markets remain competitive and dynamic. And that's what we're going to get into the government, some of the things that we need to keep our business afloat. All right, you go look for those services, you go look for those resources. They have it for us, okay? And you share the resources amongst your colleagues, okay? All right. So the benefit of entrepreneurship and small business development continues. Just two more bullet points. Social mobility, that's what you're creating up in front, social mobility. Entrepreneurs and small business owners provide opportunities for individuals to improve their social economic standing, regardless of their background or circumstances. This in turn contributes to more equitable and inclusive society. Yes, this is what I just told you, social mobility. Now, I don't know if you guys go through it, but my daughter can get a job in 2 seconds. My son, he got to apply 10,000 jobs. And it may be a societal way they look at certain young black men at the end of the day, or they just have a look for their business that they want, especially under the new federal guidelines that they can do what they want. But if we have more businesses, we can create more social mobility for our youth, for the youth that's locked out because of the new social norm that's around. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Creating a business of your own, giving your own youth things to do, making them feel motivated because they see you motivated and they start their own thing. So instead of my son waiting, which he never did, he always had his own thing going on. And I said, maybe that's a blessing because God wants you somewhere else. So if God needs you to be somewhere else, make sure that you support your youth. We're going to talk about the youth too because we have a few things that we give away here. So it's good for you guys to come in person as well. We know it's summertime. We know you got your kids home. Don't let them waste their brain. Yes, pull them off of the internet. They don't always have to do everything on the internet. We have some books, we have some concepts, some things that you can do to be innovative to keep your kids busy, get them financially forward, and kind of looking like, hey, let's start a business. Maybe I'm gonna sell some lemonade. Maybe I'm gonna do this, these type of things, because once you get them in the road of that, learning how to make money, manage money, this is something that's gonna be in the back of their mind as a life skill. As I told you, that's gonna become an asset for you and help us build generational wealth because you started your kids young thinking about this. Okay. Now they have a strive for it. They saw you doing it. You see what I'm saying? We gotta be a little bit more innovative now, especially since we have AI kind of wiping a lot of the working market out. What are we gonna do? We have to create the jobs ourselves. We have to create the industries ourselves. Okay. Resilience. That's what we're trying to create here. Resilient. Small business tend to be more adaptable and resilient than larger corporations, making them better equipped to weather economic downturns and disruptions. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because you find with bigger business, they have a profit margin that they always want to keep. And sometimes trying to keep that profit margin, either they're cutting back on services, cutting back on hiring people, cutting back on things just to make the money. And at the end of the day, that's when they actually lose the quality. So us as small business owners, we kind of know how to make it more, how can I say, personalized with our products. Because we're still small, we're still hands-on. So that gives us a way to be a little bit more creative and innovative and serve particular groups, not just a whole, industry that making or a whole group of people that making switch because you're not meeting their needs individually. A diverse and vibrant small business sector can help economy recover more quickly from crises and maintain long-term stability. That's what we need to do. Because right now we don't know where we're at. We already suffered a whole lot after the couple of years of the COVID, coming back financially from that. And now we have all of these things going on where people have lost their job because of the new federal guidelines and those type of things as well. So if we open up the idea of small businesses again, but doing it correctly, taking our time to structureize it right, building those correct connections, making it an asset, learning so it can be an asset, passing it down to our children. That is what's going to help us stabilize what's about to happen or what's happening right now. Because once one thing crumbles, someone needs to be there to pick it up. Who's going to be the someone? Who's going to be the someone? That's what we're trying to figure out right now. Okay. So support entrepreneurs and small business development. There's three major sectors that we're going to look at right here: government policies and programs, support from organizations, and individual actions. Okay, so let's get into government policies and programs. Government policies and programs. Government can play a crucial role in promoting entrepreneurship and small business development through implementations of policies and programs that support these activities. So this can include, I'm going to give you some examples, but this is why you have to be policy driven as well. This is why you have to be money driven as well. If you don't know what's going on in our government, it's been going on. Money talks, BS walks. So if you're not coming in with the money and you can't lobby or you don't come in with the force behind you, it's hard for us to push policies. So in the Black community, where we are able to um, ground ourselves with entrepreneurship, start to collectively make different trusts that will allow us to present certain equities to the government and say, hey, this is what we have, this is what we need, and this is what we want. We need a policy that's going to do this, do this, do that. How do you think we have policies right now? We have big businesses, we have big companies that's helped shaping the policies to help their business. But a lot of those policies that they're putting in line is not community-based policies. It's not for the little guy. At the end of the day, the tail end is for the corporation, i.e., I'm going to give you an example in healthcare. WellStar, WellStar Midtown, one of the most recent hospitals that got shut down. They got shut down. That was supposed to be a nonprofit hospital. Come to find out, they were taking the money that was coming in from the community and just giving it to their shareholders, making sure they did the businesses bonuses and all types of stuff like that. Right there is they not only were they taking the money and putting it in the wrong place, but they were also pushing policies within Georgia and in our sector of the Senate by paying, by giving money. That's why it went underrated all this time. We didn't know that it wasn't being funded right or they wasn't doing right by the community. Does that make sense? So they were able to push policies, hide things because of their money. And now, once all of it hit the fan, shut down season. And that's not what we want. That was just crash out on the community. Just crash out on the community. We don't want that. So I'm trying to build a bridge in these concepts of how this is connected to this. The more money you have, the more control you have over this type of government that we have. And that is true. So before we can get our foot on any policy and start to move anything back on, in a way, by some politicians like they do, what do we have to do? We have to create the businesses. We have to create the market. We have to create the demand. We have to show them that we have power on a lower, on in the middle class because we're losing power. That's why it's important for us to start business. So government policies we can focus on making more accessible capital for certain areas that need it, certain ethnicities, certain age group. The same thing that they did, we can do. We can push that based on the need. Again, another thing. Now, so let me just finish reading this. Providing access to finances for startups, small businesses, such as through microfinance programs, grant, and low interest loans. These are the things that we need to push. And I want you to know these are some of the things that they have already, but we just don't see, or we're not meeting the qualifications because we're not doing the foundational work. We're not doing the due diligence, and that's setting things up correctly, understanding our industry, doing a market evaluation, having a real plan so we can get, when it's time to move on to get access for capital, you can get it. Okay. Next, education and training. This is what I love. Y'all see I'm here. I don't have, if I have one or two, education, education, education. Okay. I homeschool my kids like, but they understand the quality of education and training, offering entrepreneurship, education and training programs to help individuals develop the skills and knowledge they need to start and grow successful business. And I'm going to give you an example. Before we give you a word, I'm going to give you a word from my sponsor. What I offer is an alternative tax lien educational platform. What is that? That's an alternative for you to have other than going to a conventional real estate program. As we know, you don't need your real estate license to participate in real estate. But as we know, you need to be educated. You need to have some understanding. So what we do is offer you a full program that helps you start to get invested in alternative real estate and gives you the foundations to do your due diligence. So right now, we're going to give you a word from our sponsor.
The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all? Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.
All right, guys. So moving on. Government policies that we can help shape as entrepreneurs. Understand as an entrepreneur, you're just not an entrepreneur. You're going to be a community leader. You're going to be an innovator. You're going to be someone that somebody looks up to. So this is a big position. That's why we don't take it lightly, and you're supposed to take it with honor. But some of the things that we can focus on as entrepreneurs and leaders in our community is regulatory reform, streamlining regulatory regulations, and reducing red tape to make it easier for entrepreneurs and small business owners to navigate the legal and administrative aspects of starting and operating a business. Regulatory reform can start with education for someone who has been through these type of programs, i.e., we had someone that showed up for the seminar last week who dealt with government contracts. So he knows the red tape about government contracts, subcontracting. So that is a way that you can get through the regular used as a form of regulatory reform by education, 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 education. All right, so another form of regulatory reform right now is basically going through forms of government that you may need to talk to about changing policy, i.e., if they have small business grants that you have in your community that you feel is not accessible to you because the red tape, maybe you need a credit score of 700, things like that. Maybe you can talk to them about adjusting these type of red tape or about how it's actually being put out there in the forefront. Are we able? Where did we get this information from? So regulatory reform is something very important that we have to focus on, the entrepreneurs, the leaders of our community, the people who know how to do research, the people who know law, the people who know how to find it, and we have to keep educating our people, especially the people who wants to learn. Also, I have to say to our community, we have to have the drive to want to learn. We have to have a drive to want to change these regulatory processes. And the reason why I think our community is really buried because our priorities has been shifted towards more of idealism and not of us actually being socially and economically stable. So this is something that we have to change our priorities to and focus on regulatory reform. Okay, infrastructure investment, very important. This is something very important. I think each one of us, if we can try to find a way to invest in infrastructure, that'll be something that will build generational wealth as well as help in certain sectors. Let me give you an example. I always talk about transportation. What about housing? You know, I specialize in helping people get alternative real estate. But for instance, you know, just getting the building, possibly making that building for people who has been displaced. They've been displaced for fires. People have been displaced from ex trafficking, senior building, little things like that. Be innovative. That is also infrastructure investment. Providing houses for your community is one of the things. Not only just transportation as well, infrastructure investment, getting a building and turning it into some type of community development program. I mean, building where people can use it and actually, get in contact with each other, creating that environment. That's part of infrastructure investment that you can do that creates a business for you and something for the community as well. We're trying to come up with some good ideas, applicable ideas for you guys, expand your mind. But we have to use more applied knowledge, okay? Support from organizations. Go around, go to local hospitals, go to the local supermarket, whatever you think that your industry may connect to, that someone who may can help. So support from organizations. Various organizations, including nonprofit, chambers of commerce, and industry associations, that's what we talked about, can also provide valuable support to entrepreneurs and small business owners. So what does that include? Okay, what does that include? My tongue going, my tongue going to say. That includes support from organizations. What do we have to do? Networking opportunities, just like here. Come down, network, meet people, go to other places, go out into the community where you can meet like minds. That helps to bring or harness support for your organization and other organizations. Follow through if you found a real connection. That's something I'm hard. It's hard for certain people and me. Sometimes it's hard to follow through with the people you meet at these networking events. But make sure that it's intentional. That's why when we have more networking events, I have some structured ways that I think that will help people actually just connect to their industry instead of everybody just networking, exchanging numbers. I have some great ideas to help people harbor those specified connections through networking. So you maybe go to a place that's just for people who do arts and crafts, because that's what you do. Maybe you go to a workshop that's just for making cars, building cars. Maybe you go to or attend an online seminar that helps you print shirts, those type of things, and then you meet people there. Here you go. Networking is important. So use your opportunities, connecting entrepreneurs and small business owners with potential partnerships and customers and mentors. You can have networking. Networking can be your business. How about that? Y'all social bunnies over there. Maybe you can help someone like me, the analytical ones. Networking could be your thing. Maybe you host business events every month, and that's your business. I know people who do that. They do it through Eventbrite. Be creative. If you like to party, make that your party. Does that make sense? The things that you like, kind of structurize it in a way that it's going to be more of a benefit than just you just get your rocks off. Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense. Okay. Business development services, offering services such as marketing assistance, accounting, legal services, and access to affordable office space. This is support from organizations. This is what you can do. And this is what I think small businesses should promote so we don't have to depend on private entities or government that's going to restrict us or charge us out of kazoo. Marketing assistance. You work with your partner. You share them on your page. They share you on their page. Y'all, you introduce them to your audience. They introduce you to their audience. As far as their customers, your customers, something alike. Sending out emails, for instance. Do you send out emails every week or every 2 weeks? You promote some of your buddies in the industry, and the same thing for you. We can do that together for free. Does that make sense? We have to be innovative in this process and build connection, advocacy. That's the main thing. We got to get the money so we can advocate for our community. We got to get the money. It's no way. That this is how it works in the United States government, in most government. Money talks, everything else walks. And we've been walking the walk, but our money has not been going where it needs to. So that's why we're learning how to re-regulate it. Okay, picking those relationships, picking those corporations that we want to deal with, we don't want to deal with, being very mindful where we seed our money. The goal is to make sure that I'm going to stay in our community for as long as it can. Black Wall Street, they said it stayed in the community for months. Yeah, forever, really, because nobody wanted their money and they didn't want to go nowhere. Does that make sense? And more came in because they were working for outside and outside specialties, bringing other at monies into their community and letting it circle around. That's why you have to have specialties in the Black community, not only entrepreneurship. We need engineers, we need plumbers, we need heating and vac, we need construction, we need people accounting, lawyers, so much, doctors, nurses. We have to have those professionals as well. It's not only about entrepreneurship. They need to have the foundations of what is normally structured in our society and take it and make it your own. Does that make sense? So we can do once we do that and we gain a foot in society with the money, then we can advocate. Yeah, does that make sense? This is why we are talking about economic development series for leaders, because this is the mindset we have to have. It's not a one step wonder. It's not a one thing. We just here, we're entrepreneurs, yay, we're gonna be rich. No, because we can't be rich unless the people around us are actually doing well. That's why we have the inflation and we have the economy we have, because all these people wanted to do was get rich, and now all of us keep shunning our money to one, and we can't even support it no more. This is not even sustainable. How are we going to pay you if we ain't got no money? That's why I can't understand how the rich and elite really think, because it doesn't make sense. Eventually, you're not going to have no money coming in because we're not even making the money. Yeah, subordination. Okay, let's go. We're kind of getting to the end of this. This week, we're going to end off with a few resources for you. So it gives us the ability to advocate for policies and regulations that support entrepreneurship and small business development at a local, regional, and national level. That's exactly what we were talking about on one of my platforms, where I had shared a speech from someone, one of our great philosophers and researchers named Steve Stokely. And Steve Coakley, I don't apologize. Steve Coakley talked about us understanding the power structure. And when you're understanding the power structure, you know where to put forth your energy. But then if you understand a power structure, you can see how you can advance it to get your point across. And it starts at the local level. I think that's where we stuck. We stuck at the local level. We can't be stuck here. Then it goes to the regional level, where we're supposed to all be connected. The national level, okay? National level. Do you understand? That's what we're going to get up into, where we'll be able to represent our people in our community in commerce, maybe separately from the rich and elite. I'm just being honest, because something has to give, especially us as brown melanated people who are not represented properly in our national capacity, meaning our actual ethnicity. So with that goes to say, if you know anything about national level of representation, a lot of other nations, they get benefits, they get treaties because they are represented nationally. And us as Black people in America and all over the world, we're not represented nationally unless we're under the guise of another country. Black is not a country. So I want you guys to really understand the importance of just being an entrepreneur and starting your own. This is a big step, but it has to be done correctly and not under the guise of greed, manipulation, usury, kingdomship. It's supposed to be under the guise of community, nation building, restructuring what we have because it's collapsing. Okay. We're getting to our last PowerPoint, and then what we're going to do is just show you some of the resources that we want to talk about for your youth. Okay. Individual actions. Let's get to it. I want you to hit the like button. I want to say thank you for being with me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Lady Lashley. I'm the owner of Primetime Home Buyers, where I educate the general public on alternative ways to invest in real estate. Okay, I help you do your due diligence. I help you go do the deed search. I help you read the title. I help you understand law. All in the course. You just take your time, go through the course. You'll come out an expert. All right, let's go. Individual actions. So, individual actions can also contribute to promoting entrepreneurship and small business development. Here we go. Individual action. This is what you got me with. This is the individual action where I said, hey, I'm going to partner up with the Fulton County Library and offer economic development series that's going to help bring people not only to the library, but also offer resources for people, a different type of resource that have not been here. So contributing your actions is very important. Contributing your product, your knowledge is very important to community. This is the individual actions that you can do. And you don't always have to be getting paid because it'll pay off in the long run. So we have to volunteer our services. We have to give back, support local businesses. Choosing to shop at local businesses instead of large corporations can help strengthen the local economy and create jobs. Pop-up shops, don't go. If you hear one around, just go check them out. You may find a business that you like. They may have a soap, lotion, clothes, connection, something that you may like, may need that you can't find at the big shop because they just got everything with all this GMO product. You know what I'm saying? Go support your local small businesses. Find them. This is what we have to do because a lot of these big corporations, they was down with eliminating DEI. And DEI is not a black thing. It was supposed to be to help to diversify and include people. That means that these people who went with the DEI revocation, they don't want to diversify and include. That's not just blacks. That's colors, other ethnicity. That's disabled. Do you support these organizations? Because they obviously don't support you. Okay? Mentorship and coaching. Offering mentorship and coaching to aspire entrepreneurs can help them develop the skills and confidence needed to start their um, own start and grow successful business. That's what we're doing here. I want to put a battery in your back. I need you to get up, stand up, and do something. Okay, every day or every other day. No, every day. Okay, even if you gotta lay down for a couple of hours in the morning and get yourself together, go back to sleep, wake up, and make something happen. That's what we're here. We have to mentor your kids. Man, if you're out there fixing cars out there, see a young boy out there, they ain't doing nothing. Have him help you fix that car and be like, hey, we'll play some football after. That's a small form of mentorship. The small things count. We can do this on a daily individual basis. Go out there to try to be a coach for the team. Create a team. A couple of years ago, I did a 2 versus 2 basketball tournament when my kids was what 14, 15. They ain't had nothing to do. And I'm like, no, we ain't about to do that. And then I got a boy. I ain't about to play. We're gonna do some boy stuff. Okay, that's one thing. I've been a single mother, but I ain't play that. All that you're gonna do boy stuff. So we went and we did 2 versus 2, and we did it for like 6 weeks, and it was great. Kids participated. Um, we had ages group from 14 to 21. They teamed up, they played hard, played heartful, and then at the end of the summer, we did a book bag giveaway. It was just great, and it was something I was able to do myself, and not even myself. I'm lying. My son's basketball coach, because it wasn't basketball season, he helped me, and other men helped me in the community. Um, Hi, sir, how are you? Oh, yeah, we kind of wrapping it up. It's a yeah, come on in. Thank you, thank you. So basically what we did was create an environment that allowed our kids to have something to do. So you have to be innovative, mentorship, coaching. You can do it yourself. It doesn't cost a lot of money. Investing in startups. This is what we have to do. It does not cost a lot. Investing in startups and small business, either directly or through crowdfunding. Now, again, we're going to put the crowdfunding platforms under the video. It can help you provide capital needs for these businesses to thrive, as well as we can be our own capital funding. Y'all have some people, y'all sitting on money. So that also can be a tax write-off. You want to make sure that you do your due diligence, asking the business direct information about what their business stand for, what's their future plan, what's their profit margin, if it's a possible market for that. You want to go in not on emotions. You want to go in based on what you know, and that's market analyzation. And when I tell you, you do good market analyzation, it becomes an asset to you, your business, and you can use that to create crowdfunding. Not only did you go out and you have a full market plan, but now you can show people it's already done. You did your due diligence. So say, don't recreate the wheel. Just take your time in the beginning to create your business correctly. So I think that's pretty much where we're at today. We don't have a long seminar, about 40 minutes. I think that's about it today. What we're going to be doing is, give me 1 second, we're going to show you just some of the things that I'm going to give you some suggestions for your kids. Now, it's summertime. I was a single mother with kids. I homeschool. It's hot. It's aggravating. You don't want to just keep them on the internet. You want to make your kids go outside, even if you got to go outside with them. Teach them some of the things that we used to play. Manhunt, hide go seek. I know that's for babies. Four corners. Water balloon fight. Easter egg hunt. You can do something, even though it's not Easter, but we could do something like that where you can do a scavenger hunt. Exactly, in the neighborhood. We used to do manhunt in a 4 block radius. It was a little tomboyish, but we would jump. I ain't telling y'all to jump fence, but we was having fun. Okay, we gotta learn how to have fun. And what brings this to me to working in a rural area with people up in the mountains, they find ways to have fun. They create slides on their grass, put the water down here. They whatever the kids are just digging holes, doing things, keeping their mind going. We have to do that to one keep the creativity going with our kids because literally the internet is draining it out. That's the only way we can create activity. And also you can create bonding moments with your kids as well. That is very important. We have a severe disconnect. And that's building an asset, that family bond, taking the time to spend time with your kids, even if it's creating a meal, something like that. So one of the things that I always focus on too in the middle of this is young people entrepreneurship. So there are some resources that they have given us in the library. Money mastering, learning what things really cost is something that you can find online as well as you can use as a tool for your younger kids from kindergarten to third grade, fourth grade or so, what things really cost because at the end of the day, they like, hey, I want 2K, I want PlayStation 6, and you don't have it. And then when you don't give it to them, then you have behaviors, you have issues going on because they're looking at the world unrealistically. Mindset. This is the time to reshape them while they outside of school, guys. Okay. Um. Also, hold on 1 second. Money mastering activity book. This is some of the things we have. You need to go online, look for things that you can print out for your kids, pictures, coloring, puzzles. Do it with them. Keep them busy. Plan 1 or 2 activities a week with them. I promise you, you will create a better relationship and they'll say they enjoyed their summer. I promise you. Now, this is something else that we have. This book is our personal book. It's called My 12-Month Debt Tracker. This is actually for middle school to high school students who don't always want to be online. I know most of our people are geared to online, but there's different type of learning abilities. And I think a lot of us have forgot about that. A lot of people learning ways to learn is auditory, we have visual, we have tactile where we're writing or we're listening. And if people don't write it, sometimes they don't know it. Typing it on a computer doesn't mean you know it. That does not, so we're losing a lot of our skills. So with this debt tracker book, this is a good book for people, young kids who start to pay bills. They can track what they're selling. This is also good for college students as well. This is something I use every year. I use this now every year. I track all of my bills that I pay every month, what week is paid, what is the balance, how much I owe, and how I'm going to pay it off. It also highlights your income, your expenses, what's your saving goal. These are things that you can write down. So once you have this book right in front of your face, it's much different than TV screen. So this is something that we are marketed to schools, charter schools for their middle school and high school students, because a lot of charter schools actually focus on finance development, because they push their curriculum a little bit further. So lastly but not least, as parents, you have to prepare for your future as entrepreneurs. Help for ages under a power of attorney. What does that mean? Parents, I know if you're my age, you're in between, you're the sandwich kids. We're about 40. So some of you are between 40 and 45, you have your parents and you have your kids. Now you have to financially plan for both of them. So understanding the power of attorney, dealing with your elderly parents before they get to that point that they can't make decisions for themselves. This is something you need to be thinking about as well. And then this is some of the things that you talk to your kids about. Because I talk to mine young. I say, listen, I'm gonna be cremated and you're gonna take me to Barbados. They know right now what we're doing before we write it down. With those type of things, okay? And be like, hey, and having those realistic conversations with your kids saying, hey, you're this type of kid, you're really good with spending. So I think that you'll be the primary for the person be a secondary, because they're really good with this particular type of thing, and I need them to be over the houses or over the businesses. So you need to distribute your wealth properly. So that's some of the things you need to pay attention to as entrepreneurs. What we're looking for is generational wealth. So once you're planning for generations, that's when you can see the picture unfold. Okay. Lastly, leaving your home to your children or heir, and that just talked about what we just talked about. Whatever you leave in the businesses, whatever. Sometimes they don't want the house. Sometimes they don't want the business. How are you going to handle that? What do you want to do? You need to talk to them realistically. So this is some of the things that we need to look forward to as we continue to go down the road of economic development. This is what we have to pay attention to as a nation. So, with that being said, I think I said a mouthful. I want to say thank you for being here with Lady Maxine. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you guys for being here, and we will be back next week. We're going to be talking about fostering community engagement and empowerment, building stronger, more resilient society. Engagement. So we're going to ask for you guys to come. We're going to keep on promoting. We're going to keep being here for the community, and hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you. What's your name,